Folks, it's officially Jet Steelers week. Our final Boy Green Daily in Vermont before I head back to New York, and preparations begin for the season opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got season predictions. Nick Faria, our Jets beat reporter, joins us. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh-darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Austin Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also talking all things New York Jets football, streaming live on my Facebook page at BoyGreen25, YouTube at BoyGreen25, and Twitter at BoyGreen25 as well. And as you can see, my special guest is here for the final time this week anyway. Well, physically in person. He'll be here a little bit later this week as we talk more Jet Steelers. It's Hop on Pop. Pop, what's up?
Hey now, what's going on? So last night, you see we're wearing the shirts from Notre Dame, the shirt. Every year, the student body creates and designs a shirt to help raise money for charity. So we're both wearing the shirts as we always do. Unfortunately, tough loss last night for the Irish. Very close, very tough. New quarterback. Get a little sack of whack, a little sack exchange, old school style at the end of the game. So unfortunately, that's what happened. However, the bright spot at the end of the rainbow is I'll quickly announce that the Hop on Pop Boy Green extravaganza travel trip sporting event this year, for the first time ever, both of us have never been there. We are going to the holy of holies of college football. We are going to South Bend, watch Notre Dame Syracuse live in November, the weekend before Thanksgiving. That's the Hop on Pop trip for this year.
And for those who don't know, I'll quickly explain it, and then we'll get into our season predictions. I know we got a lot going on, but every year as a Father's Day gift tradition of some kind, I know it's not Father's Day, but we pick normally a sporting event to go to, and we make a weekend out of it and do a whole thing because my father's living all over the world traveling as his businessman, and I'm doing my stuff in New York, so we don't get to hang out as much. So we dedicated that time that we're just going to figure it out every year to go and do something pretty cool. So that's going to be awesome. Can't wait for it. It's going to be spectacular. I got to return the favor for the whole Bret Michaels concert. So hopefully my dad has us meeting Rudy set up or something to try to equate to the Bret Michaels thing. We'll allow the gods to play that one out in the near future.
The random luck that you had that we got to see Bret Michaels, it wasn't planned out. We are going, as Rudy's dad says in the movie Rudy, although this is not true for me, my eyes have never seen anything so beautiful when he put his eyes on the field for the first time on game day.
Well, that's beautiful. So it's going to be awesome in all seriousness in a couple of months, so I can't wait for that. Plus, obviously, we have our tailgate coming up in a month and 4 days. But officially, this is Jet Steelers week. We'll get into that with Nick Faria at 8 o'clock. He joins us, but we must move and groove here, Pop, because we got to finish off our season predictions. I'll recap where we are. Also, it's September 1st, so we will announce right before Nick Faria our winner for this month's raffle, and I'll give you guys a sneak peek here real quick at the Wheel of Names picker that will determine all of this. So I'm going to throw this up on the big screen here. One moment. All right, here we go. This is the Wheel of Name. We'll return to this, but this is everyone represented. You see a big, large slice of that pie with number one Austrian Jet fan. But as we've determined that just because you spend the most does not always guarantee it. So we'll come back to that later. But let's get to football. So, Pop, let's recap real quick. Both of us have been going week by week through the Jet schedule, predicting whether we think they win or lose, and a couple of statistical nuggets to go along with it. Here they are real quick for you, Pop. Week 1, you have them beating the Steelers. Week 2, you have them losing to the Bills. Week 3, you have them losing to Tampa Bay. Week 4, you have them beating the Miami Dolphins. Week 5, you have them losing to the Cowboys. Week 6, you have them beating the Broncos in London. Week 7, you have them beating the Panthers. Week 8, you have them losing to the Bengals. Week 10, you have them beating the Browns. Week 11, you have them winning. Week 12, you have them losing to the Ravens. Long story short, you have them at 6-5 heading into Week 13. We'll finish off that six-pack. I'll throw you guys here for mine real quick. Week 1, I have the Jets beating the Steelers. Week 2, beating the Bills. Week 3, losing to Tampa Bay. Week 4, beating the Dolphins. Week 5, beating the Cowboys, obviously. Week 6, losing to Denver and London. Week 7, winning. Week 8, lost to the Bengals. Week 10, win against the Browns. Week 11, beating the Patriots. And Week 12, losing to the Ravens. I have them at 7-4, so I have them just a game ahead of you here as we head into the final six-pack. So with that all being said, make sure you guys like the video and hit subscribe. Let's go to Week 13. It's a home game against the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I'd just like to share really quick.
Okay.
We're making this pick on what we view the Jets will be. As we progress, we'll always do our predictions the Saturday before the game as it's appropriate.
Yes.
So that being said, this is the Jets as we know them now. I have them at 6-5. Up next is the Atlanta Falcons.
September 1st today. Yes, as we're doing this. Yep.
Atlanta Falcons. This is another example, another game. Again, the Jets are only favored to win 2 right now with Vegas. I think Michael Penix Jr., Bijan Robinson. You know,
that's Bijan.
Yeah, okay.
It's French.
All right. Drake London. And I am telling you, this is the comeback year. Boy Green gave me a lot of crap for Kyle Pitts Jr. It is going to be good. It is not going to be good for the Jets. This is a loss for the Jets.
Wow. This is one of the strangest teams on the Jets schedule because you just don't know what they are. We only saw a very small slice of the pie for Michael Penix. Drake London is a really good receiver. Kyle Pitts, every year is supposed to be his year. Maybe eventually it will be. Bijan Robinson is among the best running backs in all football. So the offense has a lot of firepower that could be really explosive. And the defense, they just haven't had a pass rush in a long time. So that's the part where there's sort of a weakness there. I totally see this as a win for the Jets, bringing them to 8-4. You have them as a loss, Pop, dropping them back to 500 at 6-6. We're creating some separation here, it appears. The Jets continue their homestand Week 14 against Miami Dolphins, who they played earlier in the season, Week 4 on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, it's a tough division. This year is going to be very similar. I think the teams are going to be closer together. I think Buffalo will still be a little bit ahead, but I think it's all in the mix. I think the Patriots are not as good as they say they are. I think the lady doth protest too much. The Dolphins are as bad as they think they are, and I think the Jets fit nicely right there in the middle like Goldilocks. This bed is just right. I don't see him sweeping the Dolphins. I do see this as a loss for the Jets. They do have one of the best wide receiving cores that will put the Jets' strength to the test. I have this as a loss for the Jets.
All right, so now you have them at 6-7 for those counting at home. Again, this is a home game against the Dolphins. The Jets already played Miami in this season prediction, Week 4 Monday Night Football. Yeah, I think the Jets pull out the brooms and beat the Dolphins with it because Tua's health is in question, which means Week 14 might be Zach Wilson time as he returns to MetLife Stadium as a member of the Fish.
Zach is good. Are you going to wear that shirt?
Who knows what can happen? I don't predict my wardrobe. I allow my fashionista, who works greatly behind the scenes, to put these outfits together on a day-to-day basis to work on that. But no, I think there'll be some Zach Wilson action in one of these games. It's just foretold by the football gods. And when that's the case, the Jets are going to take full advantage here. So I imagine that's going to be happening here in Week 14, the deeper into the season. I think the Dolphins have some underrated pieces on defenses, but not in the secondary, as we talked about a couple of days ago. So for me, this is a win for the Jets, taking them to 9-4 with the sweepski. All right, let's go to Week 15, Pop. The Jets now have a road game, and quite frankly, the road game in 3 of their final 4 games. A challenge in itself from that perspective. But Week 15, they head down to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, and new head coach Liam Cohen.
Yeah. So the Jaguars are an interesting team. They have been for a long time. They got their medium size on the talent and light in the loafers on the coaching, right? They are terrible. And so they did add the most interesting player in the draft, if you will. The most interesting man in the world was added. I think that makes Travis Hunter. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to show up and show out like when he was knocked out of the game October 17th, right, against the Syracuse Orange, 2017, October 13th, 2017, knocked out of the game against Syracuse. Trevor Lawrence is not Goldilocks from Remember the Titans. This is a win for the Jets.
Wow. Okay, there we go. So back to what would that be? 6-6, 6-7. Back to 500, 7-7 for my pop here at week 15. Yeah, I think Goldilocks is overrated. Everyone talks about the shittiness of that quarterback draft class where Zach Wilson has been terrible. Trey Lance has bounced around. Mac Jones is awful. Justin Fields, who did not work out in Chicago. Everyone goes, well, Trevor Lawrence, clearly the best of the group. And I'm like, sure, but what's the line? So I think Trevor Lawrence has been among the most overrated players in the National Football League. But I think he's been benefited because the rest of the class sucked. There hasn't been a Lamar Jackson in his class that said, oh, look at what some of this will happen. So I appreciate it. I would also say this. Travis Hunter is fascinating. I can't wait to see it. Offense, defense, can he do both? At this point in the season, Pop, I wonder if it still happens because obviously when you give up the assets they did, which is multiple first-round picks to move up for Travis Hunter, they're pushing their chips in the middle of the table saying they're willing to try this two-way player thing out. Will that still be the case in Week 15? I'll be curious. You also have Brian Thomas Jr., who was terrific last year, a Pro Bowl wide receiver. The running back thing is sort of a mess. Bayshall Tootin, Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby. They got a couple of interesting names there in the backfield as well. But this is going to be a big old win for the New York Jets, and that's going to take them to 10-4 at this point here in Week 15. 10-4. All right, let's continue the road trip. Let's head down to, I don't think they call this the Superdome anymore, but Week 16 at New Orleans.
Yep, new Week 16 at New Orleans. Not a good place to be a quarterback down there in the Big Easy, if you will. I'm not sure they want him anymore, but I think the Saints are leading the pack in the Manning Bowl to get old Arch. I'm not sure they want him, but it's maybe it's all in the family down there. You know what I'm talking about. Family tree does not fork. But anyways, the Saints are going to be the ones that look like they spent a little too much time on Bourbon Street drinking hand grenades. This is another win for the New York Jets.
All right, you have them at 8-7. You're on a roll. Yeah, I think New Orleans is destined for the number one overall pick. Kellen Moore, your former quarterback and coach there as well here on the front with the New Orleans Saints. But who's playing quarterback at this point? Spencer Rattler starting the season will be Tyler Shuck at this point, the Louisville product. That, to me, will be fascinating to sort of see how that ends up playing out from that perspective. But yeah, obviously this is another dub for the New York Jets. So 8-4, 9-4, 10-4, 11-4 for the New York Jets as we head into the final two games of the season for the Jets. And this is the division rivalry here, Pop. Patriots-Bills. First off, Week 17, a home game for the Patriots. Or Jets against the Patriots.
When did they play him previously? Where's that?
That was back. That was only a couple of weeks ago. Let me pull that up.
Right before the Ravens.
Yeah, I have the Jet schedule pulled up here. So let's just pull this up so that we don't have to guess what it is. Yeah, that'd be Week 11 at New England. That's a Thursday night football game.
Yeah. So thank you for that. So I think there's only going to be one sweep. It's not going to be the Jets sweeping the Dolphins. The Jets will not sweep Mike Vrabel and the Patriots. That will not happen. This will be a loss for the Jets.
Okay, so you have them at 8-8 heading into the final game of the regular season. Very nice. Yeah, this is going to be another sweepski for the New York Jets, obviously. So let's put another dub up there. Again, Patriots completely overrated. Drake May, everyone's overreacting to a very small sample size, saying he's supposed to be the guy. They have no wide receivers. Stephon Diggs is coming off a torn ACL. Their other wide receivers suck. Hunter Henry's getting old. Ramondre Stevenson has a fumbling problem. Maybe Travion Henderson eventually steals the rock from New England. I have serious questions about their offensive line. Absolute sweepskate for the New York Jets. That's another dub. So 8-4, 9-4, 10-4, 11-4, 12-4 heading into the Week 18 game. Pop.
Yeah, where's your mom? Where's your mom? She dropped you on your head multiple times in one night. They didn't have the technology that they do today to put you back together again like Humpty Dumpty. So, wow.
I'm just calling it how I see it. That's my blessing and my curse, that I can only tell the truth. Blessed be he, Boy Scout honor, and I'm just calling it how I see it here. So anywho, at Buffalo, week 18.
Yeah, so to round it out, this puts them about right where I thought they would be.
Yeah.
Above what Vegas predicted, but the reality has set in. They will not show up against the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen will be on a roll, with the caveat that this game is meaningless for the Bills, which it may be. Then the Jets might eke out a win. But I'm predicting straight up, if all players are on the field, that this will be a Buffalo Bill win.
All right.
At 8-9 for the season.
Yes, you do. Well, Pop, we haven't agreed a lot on this show, but I agree with you here. I think this is a loss for the Jets because they're resting their starters because they won the AFC East already, baby. So, that's a loss, but a win because we're looking for the playoffs getting here on the show. You got to get some postseason love here, and I think the New York Jets, after a long time away, are going back to the playoffs.
Playoffs? Are you talking about the playoffs?
Oh, yeah, I am, Grandpa. This team's back. They're due, and that's what happened. So when I said 12-5 record, very fair, a little slightly above Vegas, obviously, but
It's double.
Oh, right. We're here at 12-5. That's the most. That would tie the most wins the New York Jets have ever had in a singular season back in 1998. So it's time again. Once again, they're due. So 12-5, baby, and playoffs. AFC East division title for the first time since 2002.
Is that hat too tight?
Nope, it feels quite appropriately sized, to be honest with you. Again, my fashionista does not make those sorts of mistakes.
I don't know what I'm speechless.
Okay, let me go to this. We have Danny in real life who's been commenting on Twitter. He says, Hop on Pop has the Jets at their ceiling, and Boy Green has the Jets in fantasy land. They're more likely to be 5-12 than 12-5. Oh, Danny, our Buffalo Bills fan. It's all right. It's a little weird to be drinking at 7:47 in the morning, but I don't judge. That's for the God at the pearly gates, not me, but there you go. Hey, baby, 12-5. See, Indy loves it. And Devin, a.k.a. DNY for Life, that you're going to see at the Jets Cowboy game, he said his floor is 12-5 for the Jets this season. So I just barely met his floor, quite frankly. Yeah.
Yeah, my brother in arms there is maybe he's drinking a little too much of the firewater.
Well, that I can't speak to, but we have 200 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. Again, it's Boy Green. It's Boy Green's dad. Hop on Pop over here. We just gave our official Jet season predictions for the 2025 season, but obviously, as my father said, I'm not going to be like, when we get to Falcons week in week 13, I'm not going to be like, guys, watch the episode on September 1st. That was our prediction. Obviously, as injuries and other things happen, we will continue to give our predictions, including this week's Saturday edition, Pop, Jets Steelers.
That's right. By the way,
yeah,
I've been very clear and forthright.
Right.
That's a big word. You may not know it. Forthright on what my prediction was for last year. What was your prediction for last year? Because I remember the Arizona Cardinals, the Jets played them at like week 8. I don't remember exactly, but it was week 8 last year. And I realized, what's that?
I believe it was week 10.
Week 10. And I remember this. You didn't have the Jets losing until against the Arizona Cardinals. And so I was 12-5. What were you last year, your pregame prediction?
Okay.
So mine was not right.
Yeah.
To be clear.
It definitely wasn't, which I'm glad you're pointing out. I know it's very difficult for you. I called into the Rich Eisen show, and I gave my prediction. It's still the pinned comment on my Instagram. And we were on a roll there, undefeated. And then I was just like, hey, Arizona got to be realistic. That's a loss. And that sent the Rich Eisen crew laughing a bit on that plot twist they didn't see. But you know what? I keep my opponent on the heels. They don't really know what's coming. So, no, I was just slightly askew on the
what was your prediction again?
I believe the prediction was 15-2. The Cardinals lost, and then week 18 lost because I thought the Jets would have already had the division wrapped up.
15-2. Okay.
So I'm more realistic.
You're only 10 wins off.
If that's how you would like to look at it.
last year. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. If that's how you want to look at
7
it.
wins off, you were 10 wins.
That's not how I look at it, but,
All right. Anyways.
Yeah. Anywho, so with that being said, folks, that is our prediction here. We need to quickly, though, go to our raffle tickets because we have Nick Faria joining us in about 10 minutes here on the program. So, again, for everyone that contributed to the entire month in Austria, I saw that you gave a super chat. Don't worry, that's for a new contest that I'm going to do in a second, but I don't want to confuse anybody. What?
It is pertinent what his super chat was.
Okay, then let's get right to it then. And again, this contribution you just made is not for today's raffle. It is for our new raffle contest, which to be announced later. So yes, let's get right to it here in the
read
channel.
it. You can show it. I'll
Sure, okay,
So,
but we also
Austria
need
Jet fan.
a wow here.
Yes.
Let's get that real quick.
Wow.
Yeah, Austrian Jets fan. I will forfeit if I win to the second draw. So we have to spin again
Okay,
if he wins.
or several times as we saw in last month's raffle. Yes.
It is important to say that I would like to do a amazing shout out to the number one Austrian Jets fan. We got the gear. You're amazing. Thank you so much. You will see. We'll send a picture. We will put it on Discord here very soon. But thank you so much for the gear.
Yes, and I'm glad that you brought that up, Pat, because I wanted to bring it up. So excellent, and it is that. So Austrian, as you see me wear all the time now, as part of my new wardrobe, is Austrian Jet fan made me a bunch of custom cool Jets gear shirts, and you see the Jet banner behind me at my house from the Jets draft room. He has apparently a very creative, process to him, and he made a lot of cool shirts. He made a lot for my pop and made some for my mom. And I presented those gifts over this Vermont trip weekend, Austrian Jet fan, and they were wowed. So thank you for that, number one, and thank you for your generosity. That's super cool. So number one Austrian Jet fan is most represented in this raffle we're about to bring up. But as he has already said, I will forfeit it if I win to the second draw. We could be spinning a few times. So people, let's allow the drama to build here. So Austrian Jet fan, thank you so much. And your $2 Euro super chat, which counts for $3, will be another raffle ticket for a September contest. More on that coming up in just a little bit. So good luck to everyone out there in the universe. And let's see who is going to win. So Pop, without further ado, we must spin the wheel.
Start your engines.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, it looks like a second spin won't be necessary. Right on the edge, Dre Correa. Dre Correa, congratulations, buddy. This is first time ever winning one of our contests here on Boy Green Daily. We've started this since December. So congratulations, Dre Correa. Dre, if you could please reach out to me, or I know you're a big Boy Green Coffee Club supporter. If you can please reach out to me on any form of social media at BoyGreen25, or as I also have here my email, I'll pop that up on the screen. If anyone knows Dre Correa, please let him know that he's won the contest. I don't know if I saw him here in the chat, but here's my email as well. Paul, ESDENJR@gmail.com. Again, it's my first name, middle initial, last name, and the letters JR@gmail.com. Dre, just reach out. I need, obviously, your shipping address, and I can get your prize pack out to you very quickly. And I'll also present that on the screen so you guys can see what the prize pack was for this past month. And then we will, once I get back to New York, because we're about to leave Vermont here, once I get back to New York, I will display and reveal the new prize pack coming up for next month's raffle. So we'll be doing that on the show as well. So congratulations, Dre Correa. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate you. And Pop, there you go. Dre Correa ends up winning our contest here. And I love it when we get first-time winners. That's pretty cool. But again, I think we got to give another shout-out here to our number one Austrian Jet fan. He did not win, so no second draw was necessary. And that's what I told you guys. Just because someone has the most raffle tickets, it's not guaranteed that they'll win every contest. So this should be a healthy reminder to all of you out there. That's why you should always spend at least once a month $3 on the channel. That gives you an opportunity to win some of these fabulous prizes. Let's switch it over here to this, Pop. This is the prize pack. I want to give another shout out to Badshaw. He gave away or donated this Kickoff Kitchen cookbook. So as soon as Dre Correa gives the shipping information, Badshaw will send this Kickoff Kitchen cookbook straight to Dre Correa. We have the Super Bowl III mint coin, the New York Jets Prime Athletic hoodie, and a random vintage Jets player t-shirt, a blast from the past. All of this is going to Dre Correa. And again, we will announce our next month's contest coming up as well. So again, Dre, if you see this on the screen, congratulations, you won our contest. Paul, Paula, the letter ESDENJR@gmail.com. Go ahead, Pop.
Yep. And that just goes to show, and as I'm sure Scotty Mayhem knows, all you need is a chip in the chair. So one entry makes you have the opportunity to do so. If you don't have a chip, no chair. So make sure when the raffle comes out here in the next coming week, you get in, get your chip in the chair, and plug in, ready in for the September Boy Green raffle.
Yeah, again, the thing as we're just doing this real quick before Nick comes on, that's a thing I hear all the time. They will see on a scrolling ticker normally shows the current, raffle ticket standings, and they'll see Austrian have this amazing amount, which, by the way, Austrian, thank you so much for your generosity that you were willing to give that up this month, that you were willing to give it to somebody else, but you had a large, sizable amount, and he still didn't win. You never know what's going to happen. Wheel of Names obviously is at random. So, again, it is another one for that. And for Lily says he likes that, a chip in a chair. Dad, that's really cool that you came up with that. Who was the origin for that?
Yeah, I obviously did not come up with that. I'm not sure if it was Phil Ivey or Phil Ivey or
doesn't sound right, but I don't remember.
There's this gentleman, actually, I just saw something about it. He just turned 80. His name is Dan something or other. He always wore a green Boston Red Sox hat. I cannot remember his moniker, but yes, I definitely did not come up with that.
I was going to give you a bunch of props for that, for a chip in a chair. Let's see if I can get that quickly quote. Okay. Let's see. Yep. It looks like it was Jack Strauss. I didn't remember that being the name.
Okay.
He was the origin of that phrase, chip in a chair, and he made this apparently amazing comeback in a poker tournament when he was down on his luck and was able to turn it around. So, okay, Jack Strauss, who I did not know. I would have credited that to someone else more modern, but there you go.
There you go. I think we have one other thing to throw up on the screen while we're waiting for Nick Faria to come on.
Go ahead.
The 50-50 hop on pop.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. So, yes, I was thrown off my game there. But again, another congratulations to Dre Correa. So if any of you guys see Dre Correa, run into him on the Jake Asman Show or anywhere else, please make sure you let him know that he won this contest. All right. Yes, go ahead.
While you're at it, please take that like button to Pound Town. We're getting the chase for 8,000 is on. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. By the way, we say subscribe. We're not talking about the Boy Green Coffee Club. We're talking to the YouTube. The YouTube is what? The YouTube.
Which is
what
true.
we call it.
And it is free. That's
Free.
what my pop is indicating there. Free. It's the best price there is. So we feel like we give you the best package in all of sports with everything that is included with your subscription, which, again, you get access to Boy Green Daily every single day delivered to you, which is awesome. And we have a lot of other shows. Boy Green Meets Woody, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 o'clock. I just booked our Steelers guest for this week, the brilliant Alex Kozora of SteelersDepot.com. He is one of the premier Steelers guys to help us preview the game. So a big shout out to Alex Kozora. He'll be joining us later this week. I want more information on this Jet Steelers stuff before we bring him on the show in terms of injury report, which is something I'm going to get into with Nick Faria. But let's throw this up on the board for those that are unaware. Pop, before I even explain any of this, can you give us the update on how much money we're at right now?
Yeah, so we are just very short of $800. Thank you for everyone that's donated. We don't want to take too much time on this because we've got Nick Faria coming on. However, take the opportunity. $1 helps the raffle. $1 gets you one spin in the wheel, one slot on the wheel, right, to win 50% of the money raised. So right now you'd win $400. We're running this through the night before the game on October 4th.
Correct.
Our meetup at midnight, October 4th at midnight. Please donate if you can to help support those who protect us and keep us free.
So, yes, again, this is for the Hop on Pop Wounded Warrior Project 50/50 raffle, which we've been running for a little bit of time now, but it will continue to run. This is not a raffle that's month to month. This is a raffle specifically built to run all the way through midnight Saturday, October 4th. That is the night before our Jets-Cowboys game. So, folks, 50% of the proceeds go to the Wounded Warrior Project. 50% of the proceeds go to whoever wins. And again, to enter and have a chance to win the prize pack of money is you just need to bid $1. Now, it's all for charity, so I hope you can dig deeper into your pockets if that's possible, and you have the financial means to do so. It's a wonderful cause for the Wounded Warrior Project. Again, every raffle ticket is $1. If you donate $50, you get 50 raffle tickets, and the process goes on from there. If you would like to donate, again, it is, and I want to make sure this is clear because I don't want anyone donating one thing and thinking they were tricked. The Boy Green Daily YouTube membership, stickers, all that kind of stuff is a separate raffle, which you just saw was won by Drake Correa. This raffle is specifically through my father's Venmo and PayPal. He's keeping it separate. It's better to keep it separate so nothing gets confused. It's his Venmo at Paul, Paul, hyphen Esden, Esden, or his PayPal, which is at HopOnPop22, all connected, no spaces. And that image in the top right corner of your screen, which is a beard, spiky hair, and shades. That is a profile picture you will see, so you will know that you are in the right place. Again, that is the way to do so. Please make sure if you guys, you have the means to do it. It's an amazing cause. It's a charity me and my father have championed for many years, and we're championing it once again. I would love to get over 1,000. Again, we're about $200 and change short of that, so we have another month-ish to get to that total. So that would be amazing. And I love it, NC Green giving some kind words here, saying Wounded Warrior is the best cause on the planet. I absolutely believe so. So it should be a great time continuing to raise money for this beautiful charity. Again, if you guys want to do that, that is exclusively on my father's Venmo or PayPal, at Paul-Esden on Venmo, or on PayPal at HopOnPop22. Anything else you want to share about the Wounded Warrior Project?
Yeah, not about the project. The reason it's going to a separate account, no cut will be taken from YouTube.
Correct.
That's why it's kept separate for Boy Green's, Raffles, and things of that nature, so there's no confusion. We'll have the entire leaderboard updated for upcoming Saturday show. We'll have the leaderboard. We are just under $800, so please donate if you can. If not, we understand, but let's go Jets.
All right, and just one last quick thing here for people that don't understand the thing my pop just said. Yeah, YouTube, whenever you guys send in stuff, and by the way, I don't care because I know that's most convenient for you guys, and we can put it on the screen and do a lot of fun stuff, is when you guys send in a super chat or a membership or any amount of money on the channel, YouTube takes 30% of that off the top and they keep it. So that's how it works. So I know some of you sometimes get frustrated. It doesn't all go to wherever you intended it to go, but just for that. But again, I love doing this on YouTube. And if YouTube helps us make it easier, I'm all about it. But specifically, especially when we're doing money for charity, it seems wrong to give 30% to that. And then we're splitting up the other percentage between things. So let's try to make it as straight, even as possible. Again, if PayPal or Venmo does not work for any of you out there in the universe, reach out to me and we'll try to find a creative other way to do it. For instance, if you guys reach out and say, hey, I'd love to give you cash on Jets-Cowboys game, and you tell me that in advance, that can still count toward the raffle potentially. You guys could do that at the tailgate if that was another way you'd want to do it, although we're drawing that winner on that Sunday, October 5th. All right, Pop, are you hanging around for some Nick Faria Jets beat reporter action?
No, I'm going to let you and Nick have at it.
Okay.
Coffee Club, I will see you on Saturday. Game day before game day. Let's go.
All right, so I'll play this quick timeout. We'll see what happens. We may go to the phone calls. We may go to Nick Faria. We may do a little bit of both. That's coming up next right here on Boy Green Daily.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. The YouTube call-in link is live for the first time here in Vermont. It's a pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. It's Jets Steelers week, baby. I'm friggin' fired up. We've been talking about this forever. It's 6.5 days away, which is wild to say out loud. We're going to have shows every bleeping day, at least one, if not multiple. By the way, for fans, folks that are fans of the Man Shout Show, Boy Green Digital, normally we're live every Monday and Wednesday at 11 o'clock. We will not be live today. Enjoy the Labor Day holiday. We will not be live. Again, me and Jim Lurch. I'll be driving back to New York. So we will return to our festivities throughout the rest of the week, which you guys can stay tuned to. We'll be speaking with Jake Asman for our Jets preview, some Bills, Giants, and everything else in between. I'll also answer your questions here on the program as well. So it's Jets Steelers week, baby. All right, let's answer some questions or comments here. And Nick Faria should be joining us here in a little bit. All right, appreciate Fox Sports Talk, baby. Jets, Jet. I love hearing the Jet chant. Let's go. There you go, baby. And look at that. Just like a rubbing the side of a lamp to call out a genie. The Jets Jet chant has summoned the one and only Jets beat reporter for X Factor, JetsXFactor.com. And also, he is the head honcho for the Riverdale Press. That is Nick Faria, baby, for Jets Steelers week. What's up, Nick?
How's it been going, Paul? Great to be back on.
I can't believe it. It's Jets Steelers week. Has it hit you that now, and obviously for the Cowboys-Eagles action, we're going to see in a couple of days. So that's going to kick off things on Thursday. But wow, after all this time, we're finally here.
One of the faster off seasons I've ever experienced. But yeah, it's great to football is back. It's great to finally be able to watch some of these games. It should be a lot of fun.
Now, this may be obvious, but maybe not obvious to the fans. So we're still early in the week here. There's a bit of a holiday break here for the Jets, and they're returning tomorrow. And then we'll have sort of an uneven, work week coming up here because they'll have that Wednesday off, which is normally like install day and all that stuff coming up. So, Nick, the thing I'm sort of concerned about, I'm just curious if you're concerned about it or if you have any updates, feel free to share. Some of the injuries for the Jets, the Tyrod Taylor thing, we could start there because apparently the Jets had a lot of interest in Tommy DeVito. That interest, to me at least, indicates that maybe Tyrod won't fully be ready to go. Is that a fair? We'll start with that injury and go to others. Is that a fair assumption to make?
No, and I'll say their interest in Tommy DeVito, to me, told me that this organization understood who Tyrod Taylor was. And the fact of the matter is, if something were to happen to Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor has gotten hurt before as well. He is someone that isn't exactly a player that is durable, to say the least. And at least in the older he gets, the less durable he becomes. This isn't a knock on him. He's one of the best backups in football. But you want to make sure that you have a quality QB3, if that's the case, that at least can run the offense. It's also why I brought up DTR as such an interesting figure at this point, because he's a scrambler who could sort of run that zone read type of offense. I don't think it's a reflection on Tyrod Taylor at this point, the fact that they were interested in DeVito. I just think that they knew, or they expect, that they'll have to go to QB3 at one point, and they want to have a quarterback who can run the football and run the offense like it's designed to be run. I think DeVito is one of those players that can do that.
Totally fair enough. That's a totally reasonable response to that. Sometimes I go a little crazy, Nick Faria, so I got to rein it in a little bit. Okay, what about this one, right? So Aaron Glenn hasn't named a starting center. That has sent a lot of people into a tizzy. My first thought of why he has it is, one, he doesn't have to share information he doesn't want to for whatever reason. But number two, does that mean the John Simpson injury with the back is more serious? Because as we saw in preseason week numero uno against Green Bay, Simpson couldn't go, so Tippmann played guard, Myers at center. Is that another legitimate possibility with the Simpson back issue heading into the season opener?
It's a TBD, but Simpson has been playing. He has been practicing. I think the big question is going to be, what's it going to look like to start practices? We can speculate right now, but until they hit the practice field Tuesday, Thursday, all these kinds of places, we're just not going to know. So I would have everyone err on the side of caution at this point. Let things happen. Let things unravel at this point. We're going to find the decision. We're going to understand what that decision is within the next few days, most likely on game day. So it's just a matter of waiting and seeing.
All right. I'm giving you a big piece of pie. Are you a pie fan, Nick Faria? Do you like pie?
No, I'm more of a chocolate cake, chocolate chip cookies type of guy. I'm more of the old classic. Give me some chocolate and I'm good to go.
Okay, well, we'll go with the chocolate cake for you. I'm willing to adapt, so I'll give you a piece of chocolate cake. It's right here. It's imaginarily sitting here. It's a big fat circle. I want you to tell me the percentage of the cake that it could be Josh Myers running out week 1 as the starting center for the New York Jets versus the rest of the cake that is dedicated to Joe Tippett. If you had to sort of spitball that at us not knowing the decision and the cake's right there, who's getting what percentage of the cake in terms of what you think is going to happen?
I mean, that's such a tough question because they've been rotating these guys all of camp, every single day of camp. And personally, I've disagreed with that decision, with that option, because you want to have your starting 5 work together as much as they possibly can. Any rep that you don't give them is a rep wasted, in my opinion, particularly with centers now calling out the line of scrimmages, lines of adjustments, all those different things. If we're judging the player based on how he can block, it really is no contest. Joe Tippmann is a much better blocker. He gets to the second level a lot faster. He's just a better, in my opinion, center than Josh Myers. But Myers has been playing the position a little bit longer, and Joe Tippmann's high snaps are something that has been talked about in recent years. Do I think it's as big as many people are expecting and as bringing up and as concerned about? No. You look at every great center in the National Football League, and they've gone through this in their early careers. They've gone through the high snaps. Where was that snap going? What are you trying to do here? And when I talked to Joe Tippmann about it, I would say like a couple weeks ago, right before the final preseason game, he talked about it. What happens is when you're a center, you're trying to get the ball out as quickly as possible so you can get up to the second level. Do the Jets prefer a center who can snap the ball, pretty well every single time, but struggles to block? Or do they want someone who, okay, there may be a bad snap here or two, but he's going to be one of the better blocking centers in the National Football League? To me, it's no contest. Joe Tippmann has been the better center throughout camp, but there may be something else that Aaron Glenn and this coaching staff are looking at, and that may change the conversation, if you will, about the center position. But I will say, if they go to Josh Myers, they are going to have to answer for every bad game he has. And they're going to have to answer for signing a guy at $3 million, putting him in the starting lineup and saying, okay, yeah, well, we're going to start him over our young center now who could be eligible for a contract extension next year. I mean, that changes the whole complexion of what the offensive line is going to look like. So there are major questions that have to be asked, particularly if Josh Myers wins the job. I'm a firm believer that it's still Tippmann. You look at the tape. You look at the tape through all the preseason games, and he has just been better. He's been flat out better.
Okay, well, so because it's interesting that you brought up the snaps versus the actual blocking, because I don't know if you saw Jets' final drive, the new SNY show with Connor Hughes and Zach Rosenblatt, but Zach is exactly in your camp. So apparently you're Team Zach, if we're doing that thing again. Hashtag Team Zach versus hashtag Team Connor. But Zach says, hey, I don't think the snapping issues have been as bad as people are saying. He's just been a better blocker. And Connor Hughes went, well, he can't snap. And snapping the football's important for a center. So they've been sort of debating and going at each other about who should be starting week 1 and that competition in general. Zach is Team Tippmann. He's the better offensive lineman. Connor Hughes of SNY say, hey, man, Josh Myers has been a more consistent snapper of the football. And he says he's been seeing some of the Tippmann snapping issues throughout training camp. Is that something you've seen? Because people have talked about that in years past, but Connor was really the first one that I've heard consistently, like, of all the beat reporters, I've heard people talk about Tippmann snapping issues from past years. Like, whoa, that's a concern. But in terms of this training camp and being around, Connor is the first person I've heard from that the snapping issues have been erratic, according to his observations. What have been your observations as it is on the Joe Tippmann snapping throughout this camp, specifically this year?
No, it hasn't. And it hasn't been nearly as bad as it was last. Let's be fair. We want to talk, if he has a high snap in a practice, it's one snap and then they move on. And maybe it happens every other practice. Last year it was happening 3 or 4 times a day, and you're just kind of like, okay, where is this going? What is he doing? But I agree with Zach. It hasn't been nearly as bad as people make it out to be. There are going to be some high snaps, But the big question mark to me on how to judge a center, okay, if I'm judging a center based on if he can snap a ball correctly every single time, well, then Jason Kelsey is not going into the Hall of Fame, because a big problem for him in the first 7-8 years of his career, a problem that he had even into his later years when he was an All-Pro, is the fact that he had some really bad snaps. Sometimes it would be low, sometimes it'd be high, sometimes it'd be a completely aborted snap, whatever it ends up being. Kelsey had a big problem with that, and it happened pretty much his entire career. So we can say that it's a very important thing, the basic form of the job. But if one of the greatest centers of all time had that issue, and he's still one of the greatest centers of all time, clearly it's not as big of a deal as we want to make it out to be. I think Tippmann, the snap question is nowhere near as bad as it was. And I think that's where we have to understand, if we're going to Josh Myers, then this was a preconceived thought by the coaching staff where Tippmann was going to be replaced regardless.
Yeah, and I think I saw this comment in the YouTube pool, so apologies that I couldn't see it immediately. But, if Simpson's out for, let's say, week 1, and the Jets trot out the same lineup that they did for week 1 of the preseason, Tippmann's playing guard, Myers playing center, and they're just doing fine. They're I don't want to say surviving. They're fine. They're whatever. That unit works. I'm curious if Simpson's ready for week 2, what happens? Do the Jets say, all right, let's keep continuity, Tippmann out, Simpson in, or do they reshuffle it and Tippmann's back at center? Because that's what happened in other preseason games. The next week, it wasn't Myers back out there at center. It was Tippmann back out there at center. So that'll be sort of curious. Another injury situation, then we'll get to some phone calls here as well. Jermaine Johnson. How about this chocolate cake? We'll put the chocolate cake aside. Jermaine Johnson, how many snaps is this guy going to play realistically? He's coming off a torn Achilles, for God's sakes, but the reports I'm hearing from some of you beat reporters when he came back, it's like he looked like the second coming of Lawrence Taylor, for Pete's sake. So it's hard for me to balance, Dr. Esden and football fan Esden. I'm not sure what to do here. Nick, help.
So again, and I've been a very big proponent of people need to be patient with Jermaine Johnson. Just because he looks good in practice does not mean he's going to look good in the game. Just because he looks healthy in practice does not mean that's going to be the case in the game. The Jets, when we talked to Aaron Glenn last week, he kind of said what we were all expecting. We're not going to rush him, and we're going to sort of hold him back from himself because we want to make sure he's 100%, not just for week 1, but for the entire season. So I do expect him to be on a pitch count. I don't know how many plays he's going to be in on. Rough estimate, maybe 15, 20. And that's a completely rough guess, that kind of thing. Maybe a third of the snaps, and you try to rotate people in. But if he's continuing to play well, then you'd want to give him more and a little bit more and a little bit more. But the way that I see it, week 1 is the biggest outlier of the NFL season. We want our teams to start 1-0, but at the end of the day, if they start 0-1, plenty of 0-1 teams make it to the Super Bowl. Plenty of 0-1 teams make it to the playoffs. They have successful years. So I just this idea that they need to start out fast is just not what the NFL season is about anymore. And I don't know how many coaches have said, listen, if we're 2-2, and we'll be fine. If we're 3-2, we'll be fine. Because the early part of the season is an extension now of the preseason in a lot of organizations' minds. And I can't imagine Jermaine Johnson playing 65, 75, 100% of the defensive snaps when this guy is just coming off an Achilles injury.
Yeah, neither could I. Again, that would just be stunning, which means, hey, Jet fans, learn some Michael Clemens action, baby, because you may be seeing a lot of that in week 1. Before we get to the phone lines, I just want to start off here. It's Monday, so again, this line could change. But the Steelers-Jets, when that game was first announced, the line opened at 2.5. To start this week, the line remains 2.5, the Steelers being a 2.5-point favorite in MetLife Stadium against the Jets. Is that an appropriate line in your opinion, Nick Faria?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Pittsburgh should be favored. They have the better quarterback. They have the better coach. They have the better defensive line. All of this, of course, being on paper. I came out with my hot takes yesterday. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to do well at all. I think they're actually going to miss the playoffs. They'll finish under 500 for the first time since 2003, and Tomlin will no longer be coach after this year. That's one of my 5 hot takes on the upcoming season.
Good Lord, I'm looking forward to what the other 4 are. Jeez, hello.
I come in swinging. Let's just put it that way. But the big thing, I think, it comes down to quarterback play. And do you trust Aaron Rodgers or you trust Justin Fields? Aaron Rodgers, where he is now, still a better quarterback than Justin Fields, at least on paper. So you have to give Pittsburgh the benefit of the doubt in that retrospect, but that does not mean the Jets cannot win this game. 2.5 is nothing. And it really could change if they can force a turnover, if they can run the ball effectively. That obviously changes the spread as well.
Hey, by the way, I don't want you to spoil the rest because that was incredibly tantalizing. But if someone wants to read the other 4 of those sizzling, seismic hot takes, is that jetsxfactor.com?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's the greatest team of all time.
If you're a Cardinals, Patriots, Titans, or Giants fan, you'll be very happy. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, what a tease. All right, fascinating. All right, everybody, we got over 300 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe, show your support. We're about 70 some odd people away from 8,000 subscribers. We're going to go to your phone calls. Let's go. Up first, Hepster. What's up, Hep?
Hey, Paul. Hey, Nick. Hey, fellas.
Hey, don't.
I want to talk about Connor Hughes suggesting that G-Dub is going to be our primary slot receiver. And at first I was a little confused about that, but then it made sense to me because then the sidelines don't come into play with him. He also excelled at that in college. I want your thoughts on that, Nick.
That's been his natural role for a very long time now. He was there last year with Rodgers. That's essentially the role he's been playing now for a few years. That shouldn't affect anything. That shouldn't update anyone or change anyone's mind on Garrett Wilson. CeeDee Lamb operates almost exclusively from the slot. It's just Garrett Wilson's another one of those players.
Gotcha. Because they were mentioning that it brings them closer to the ball, and that way the ball will come out quicker. I'm assuming they're going to be running these quick.
They're going to run, yeah. They're going to run. This passing offense is going to be get the ball to Garrett Wilson, get out of his way. And that's essentially what it's going to be about. They'll try to have a deep shot to Arian Smith maybe once or twice a game. But this is predominantly about Tanner Engstrand scheming Garrett Wilson open and Justin Fields getting him the ball.
Thanks, fellas.
All right, beautiful. That's a good question because I think that's, for fans that think of Garrett Wilson's and some of these other big receivers in the world, a lot of us just assume, because I don't think a lot of us look at some of those snap percentages, oh, he's obviously a boundary receiver. But as you say, Nick, yeah, cool, that's the news, but the news is no news because that's been happening since basically day one, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. And
okay,
when you have a receiver like Garrett Wilson, who's not 6'5",
yeah,
why are you going to put him out wide against some very tall athletic corners? You want to put him in a place where he is going to succeed long term. And this offensive coaching staff is aware of his skill set. And to me, his skill set is beating these slot corners to death and finding ways to match up against the weaker opponent on the defensive side. That's what you want to see from Garrett. That's what you want to see from this Jets coaching staff.
All right, let's go to another call. We got Mr.
I'm running on something now. Oh, good morning.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Famous Fulton.
So I got some big news.
Okay. Wait, do you have the access to turn on your camera?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's right.
Give me a second.
I'd love to see your face. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can you see me now?
Oh, sweet. Those shades are awesome. All right, Mr. Famous Fulton. You have big news to share. Me and Nick are anxiously waiting. Please.
All right. Well, I got the cast list, and I'm one of the policemen for Singing in the Rain this year.
Congratulations. Wow. Okay. Terrific news, man. Terrific news. Yeah.
Thank you. Yep. So we saw.
Are you gonna, when you're on stage, are you gonna channel Nick Faria when you're sort of delivering this, or who are you channeling? Where's your mental space right now, Mr. Famous Fulton?
My mentoring space.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trying to think here.
Yeah, how you feeling sort of heading into this process?
I feel pretty good about it. The last time I had was an ensemble I had, but this time I'm doing the speaking part.
Okay, good. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. I don't know if I'm supposed to be calling you officer, Mr. Famous Fulton. Now, that's the proper terminology. I haven't been on the force, but I respect everyone that's in our blue for sure.
Yep, I sure will. And we have our rehearsals in 2 weeks on September 14th.
Okay. Well, Officer Mr. Famous Fulton,
Yes,
congratulations, sir.
sir.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Big news. A lot of
There you go.
congratulations coming in the chat, baby. Wow. Okay. Any advice, Nick Faria, as he plays a police officer and singing in the rain?
I'll talk to my brother. He's currently on Broadway and everything, so I'll
Wow.
talk to him.
Okay. Runs in the Faria family. Should not surprise me.
I'm
Those
not an
Farias
actor,
are
I'll say
talented,
that.
baby. Wow. Okay. All right. This is going to be a shorter show than normal. So, Nick, our interviews will be a little bit shorter here. I think we have time for maybe one more call here. Let's go to it. We've got Neil joining us here on the show with a Stokey. What's up, Neil?
What's up, guys? Happy
That's
Labor Day to
a
everybody.
MoMA.
Yeah. Happy game week, baby. What's going on?
Game week, Labor Day. I'm listening as we speak to Bill Cowher give his 2025 Steeler prediction.
Okay. And?
You know, he says that it's a great roster, and he says they're going to get better throughout the year. So that gives, look, we're going to catch them early, and that's the best time to catch, I think
I
this
agree.
team. I think if we're going to, bottom line is this: we have to run for 4 yards a carry. If we could average 4 yards a carry, keep the penalties down, Justin runs for 80 yards, we, get some good success in the red zone and take time of possession, we could win any game with those numbers. It's not really that difficult. It's just a matter of mistakes and turnovers. The one thing I'm looking forward to more than anything this year is turning the goddamn ball over. We have not done that in so many years. We haven't turned the ball over. I mean, last year we got our first interception in what, game 10 with what's his name, the interception by the guy that left us. What's his name?
Are you talking about Brandon Eccles?
Eccles. That was like the first interception we got. I think it took us 10 games.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's not going to, we can't have that happen this year. We have to
Definitely
do
not.
something much different this year. So I'm expecting good things, turnovers, field goals. We'll do what we can, and let's take it one game at a time, guys. Let's see what
That's it.
happens. Let the chips fall. I'm excited.
All right, there we go. Neil joining us here on the show. A quick question before we sign off here, Nick. This is always interesting. I've always been fascinated by this, and I don't know if I've ever found the answer. So when you're on the beat and you're like covering practices and you're there, is there a dress code that you have to follow?
Well, you can't walk in and beach wear and sandals, but there's no necessarily no dress code per se. Can't obviously wear an opposing team's hat, apparel, or anything like that. Other sports are perfectly safe and whatnot. College is perfectly safe, but yeah, it's kind of lax in that way, where you can sort of wear what you want, but you just can't obviously wear the actual teams and supporting other teams around the league.
But because I see this from Dave Briga, is Nick allowed to wear Jets gear? So could you support if you wanted to? Not, I don't think I've ever seen you in it, but if you wanted to, could you wear team gear like Jets hat, Jets polo?
Yeah, you can't really do that because then that would be a conflict of interest. Then that's essentially saying I actually root for the team and I want the team to succeed instead of just telling people what's actually going on as part of a P reporter's job. I will say,
yeah.
There's only one team gear that I wear. It's not going to be Jet stuff. It's just I don't really do that sort of thing.
Yeah, but that's a personal thing though, that you could do it if you wanted to potentially.
Well, if you wanted to like go outside and like go golfing and you had, I don't know, just Jet socks or something, sure. But the big thing is it's a conflict of interest. You want to make sure that you are as impartial as you possibly can be. And you can't really do that if you're sporting the team you're covering's gear all over the place.
That's totally fair. I just saw that question. I'm like, I don't know. I've never asked. That's interesting because I see Antoine Staley is quite a connoisseur of hat combinations and chair combination, shoe combinations. Excuse me. We have a super chat coming in here for you, Nick. Every time we get a super chat, we hear from my daughter Zarai Luna. Very nice.
Wow.
And Paul, you still there?
Okay, sorry about that, folks. Had some technical difficulties here. All right, Nick, Nick, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, let's end the show of this. Sorry about the technical difficulties here in Vermont. Lou B, Super Jets fan, asks, Nick, why have they not traded for a wide receiver 2? Go Jets. This may be the question that you've answered more than any other question on our show and our show's history.
Yeah, no, they don't need one. That's the problem. Their offense is going to be predicated on running the football effectively. They're not going to be passing the ball a lot. I think the overall target share for Justin Fields, I would say, is around 100 to 150 targets for wide receivers and backup tight ends opposite the big three of Mason Taylor, Garrett Wilson, and Breece Hall. 150 targets is not enough for a number 2 wide receiver. It's just not. So the way that I look at it, there's no need to overpay. There's no need to pay anything for a receiver who's not going to have the kind of production fans are going to want in a number 2 wideout.
Which makes a lot of sense. So Luby, and it's not controversial. I know you're like your reaction to my reaction to your question. It's just that's just been a very popular conversation about why haven't they done it? Will they do it? How could it happen? I will just say we'll end here on this one, Nick. As Rich Cimini yesterday, I don't know if you saw it, but he basically said Jacoby Myers is a name to watch for the New York Jets. It seems speculative, but I don't know if he had any additional sourcing on it, that maybe that's a name to watch as something that could happen. Anything to share on that?
No, and so Myers has obviously been a really good receiver throughout his career, but he's not an X. Right? He's not a Z. He's not outside corners. He's a slot guy. You already have Garrett Wilson working out of the slot. What would you be doing there? Would you honestly believe Myers could step into an X or Z role? Would you want to just move Garrett Wilson outside to where he's probably not in his natural position? That seems like an unnecessary gamble to me. And it's just one of those things. So, would I want $15 million a year for Jacoby Myers? Do I want him at $10 million for a number 2 wide receiver? I just don't. It's just not a position that's going to be of value. If they had a different quarterback, maybe, absolutely, it's more worth it. But this isn't the type of quarterback that's going to be throwing the ball and reading defenses into their second, third, and fourth reads. It's read the first read, read the second read, and then take off and make a play. That's essentially what Justin Fields is going to be doing.
Alana asked, did you give a final season prediction anywhere? If so, when is it happening, or is it happening?
That is in the Hot Takes article that came out yesterday. I have the Jets finishing 9-8, but missing the playoffs. So they take a very similar stride to Bill Parcells, where he went 9-7 his first year, but missed the playoffs. I think they do pretty much exactly the same thing, but they end up missing it regardless. I think by a half game based on the matchups between New England and the other team that is surprisingly in the postseason for me. So it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. I think Jet fans will look back on this season as a pillar for greatness, further growth. But I don't see them making the playoffs this year. I think at the end of the year, that final game when they're 8-8, they beat Buffalo, who rests their starters, who's locked up the 1 or 2 seed, and then they use that win to catapult themselves moving forward.
Hey, the second winning season in the last 14 years sounds good to me, Nick Faria. That's certainly a lot of progress. Well, Nick, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We're going to love to get your insights throughout the season. Enjoy game week, and we'll check in with you next week.
Absolutely. Thanks, Paul.
There he is, Nick Faria, our beat reporter from JetsXFactor.com. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. Appreciate it. Thank you for the few calls we got in. Things will return back to normal on the show tomorrow. So we'll have a Boy Green Daily at 7:30 tomorrow morning. Again, I'm going to be about to be traveling back to New York. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Another shout-out to Dre Correa. He won our contest, so shout-out to Dre. Also, Luby, Super Jets fan, and Austrian. Your Super Chat combinations coming in will count towards our next raffle, which will reveal that prize pack coming up on the show tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you. Take care, and enjoy.